It's kind of funny. What up, guys? I hope everyone is doing well. We're going to go over something that I consider what's the word? The fuck? Wait, I forgot about that. Okay, back to the point. So we're going to be looking at a average user, an average person, either one or two different people that have poor operational security. That is generally like the vast majority of all people that we kind of think about. So we're going to make a profile. Now, in hindsight, it'd be cool for me to put this in my notes and everything, but I'm not going to because I suck. So we're going to use an online notepad, and we're going to think of an average person that lives in America. So we're going to get some information. The person that says, I don't care about privacy, whatever. They say, and we're going to clean up their dirty habits. They're like, you know what? I have been privacy pilled. I'm out here looking for information that's going to increase my privacy, my security, understanding threat modeling, and understanding how and why you should. And maybe you can show someone you know this video. Maybe they can sit back and watch and be like, you know what? I haven't thought about that. I haven't done something like this. Oh, it's not that hard, etc., etc. That is the purpose of these live streams. Is I try, instead of me sitting there spending hours and hours editing and thinking and writing, I don't like doing that because it costs just an insane amount of time. And YouTube is a hard landscape to be on, to push your video in front of people, because you relatively have to follow the meta, and the meta, in my opinion, is super gay. And I'm not going to do flashy editing. I'm just going to think of something that I feel like people would like to watch, or maybe this is information I wish I had when I was on my privacy journey. And you don't have to start all at once. You don't have to switch to Linux, get Graphene OS, go on Tor, Darknet, fucking pee-pee poo-poo. I read a lot of content on this, and a lot of people come to these weird conclusions where they're like, just throw out the tech, it doesn't matter. Because you generally come across two people that are privacy aware, and they're like, it doesn't matter, so I'm going to do nothing, which you're a bitch. And then, well, I have nothing to hide, so it shouldn't matter. It ought not matter, whatever. And you're like, well, you're a bitch too. Those are the people that are unprivacy aware, but they are willing to admit they have nothing to hide in the beginning with. And I know there's a common phrase of, well, saying you have nothing to hide because privacy doesn't matter is like saying, like, something about free speech and having, foot jobs from John Lennon, whatever Benjamin Franklin said. So that's the point, is how do I convince these people? Or if you have been convinced yourself and you don't know where to start, that's what essentially what we're going to look at. How can I achieve my dirty, bad Opsec, my dirty public profiles? How does one go about increasing their privacy? And we're going to do some perspective. We're going to have what does it cost to eliminate your data? What actually works and what doesn't actually work? We're gonna create a fake human, and we're going to essentially turn them into a relatively more respectable private pro privacy citizen. Everybody is John Doe. Everyone has used John Doe. Who is John Doe? John Doe can be anyone. That's why it's a great name to use, perspective-wise. We're going to have a lot of ground to cover, so put your titties on or whatever, because it is definitely something that is a lot of thinking that you have to have. So the first thing is we're going to go to what is the average person care about. So we have a person. These ads suck. I should be using my own notebook, but who cares? We're going to call them John Doe. Their age is, say, 35. They became woke to the privacy. Age 35. Let's make it younger. Let's make him 25. Say 20. He became the Zoomer in him leaked out. Well, obviously, sex, yes, please. Male, and they're I don't know. They make This does matter because a lot of this stuff is correlated to you. Salary. Let's say they make medium income of $55,000 a year, because this information is used to track you whether you like it or not. So it is gonna matter. And at different price points of your life, you're gonna be able to, I'm going to be able to afford an email service, and I'm going to be able to use this email service, et cetera, et cetera. Common sense. If I don't have enough money to buy these services, I'm gonna have to get creative and know how to do it in a free sense or a lot of manual work. Most people don't use this tip for mice in spring, but it works like magic. I hate these ads. Who actually believes this shit? Sorry, my ADHD's kicking. Let's say they live at home. They don't own a home because it's living space is home. They are single. And what if John Doe had a salary of $5? Then John Doe should not be living. John Doe would die. John Doe is single, not married. They own a car. Is a Toyota Corolla. Spelled Toyota wrong? Yeah. So they have a Toyota Corolla because that matters, because a lot of these cars track you. I mean, this is something that people think about. Let's say they have a 2015 Toyota Corolla, and what is they're obviously on social media. They have Gmail. Let's say Gmail, Facebook. I don't know people. Facebook for Facebook Marketplace. Not FAP for Hillary, for sure. No FAP for Hillary, yeah, for sure. They have Facebook, Gmail, Snapchat. They make their own passwords. They own an iPhone. Their mobile operating system is on social media, Gmail, Facebook, Snapchat, make their own passwords like normal. And then probably, let's say a MacBook. Nostr is the best social media. Gmail gives you free pop, like unlike Proton Mail. Nostr is the best social media based. So they have a Mac, iPhone, iPad, but they use Gmail. They don't use iCloud. Whatever. This is like kind of like going to be their tech stack. Gmail, Facebook, Snapchat. What do other people use? Oh, and TikTok, because they need to goon, and they buy everything off Temu, because I think this is what retards do at this age now. They post everything online, blah blah blah. This is your average American, honestly, at a lot of ages and different age points. Oh, I don't care Gmail. Oh, I don't care Facebook. I don't care. Like they allow all this data collection, and you could even say that whether Apple does a good job at it or not, we could erase this and do actually even worse. Windows, Amazon too, yeah. We'll do a Samsung S25, and then tablet? No, I don't think there's people. Most people just get an iPad. And yeah, they buy everything with Amazon. The big ball giant, ball knowledge, you could say. So, John Doe, 25, male, $55,000 a year, lives at home, single, car, 2015 Toyota Corolla, on social media, has Gmail, has Facebook, has Snapchat, TikTok, Temu, uses Amazon. Let's just do a frequency of 5 times a week. Let's say 3 times a week. Elite ball knowledge. Makes their own passwords. No 2FA. Oh yeah, and their bank. Let's say Chime. A lot of people use fucking Chime for a bank. It's just fucking crazy. No 2FA. Definitely doesn't have a good, no good backup. And let's see, Windows, Samsung S25 is their tech stack. Let's just say Windows 11, Samsung S25. Let's say laptop-wise, just an HP 15 or whatever. I don't know. Amazon can be okay for privacy if used with gift cards and sent to one of those delivery things they have, for sure. But the problem is Amazon has a lot of data collection from the app itself. So unless you're using a progressive web app, and there's so many different data points that point to it, you're also you're not supporting local businesses that are more private, where you can accept cash. A lot of people use 2FA today since it's pushed as secure. No, tons of people don't use 2FA today. 2FA is widely still not adopted. SMS, 2FA maybe when it's enforced, but actually, I could give you 4 to 5 accounts that don't enforce good 2FA practice. I'm going to go with the average person that doesn't use it and doesn't set it up. But you could do Amazon in a private way, but it still does a lot of tracking and a lot of you're giving them a lot of information. There's better alternatives out there. Besides, if you want to do the online thing, there's a million better alternatives out there. And actually, using those Amazon, no, 2FA is not pushed. Not even my bank. It's fucking crazy. We can't even. I only know of 3 banks that use FIDO keys, and I'm not changing banks for that. But if if I was given the option to use one of those banks over the other, I would have fucking picked that bank. I should be allowed to use my security key with my bank. It should be mandatory that these fucking losers incorporate it. And it's crazy that they don't. It's crazy that they use SMS for authentication still. SMS is terrible. It's better than nothing, but it's honestly just as bad as almost nothing. But I still do it. That ad at the bottom sounds dangerous. It is dangerous. Now she can't stop losing weight. Yeah, that's true. And even worse, actually, I would say the better option of 2FA being sent is to your email if you have hardware authentication on your email. Closed my bank account like a year ago. Banks are gay and Jewish. Sure. I don't really care about that part. Maybe, I mean, if you're fortunate enough to live in, I would say a fantasy world where you can live without a bank account, be my guest. Banks they do suck, but we're talking about the average people that want to increase their privacy and their security, and it's very difficult to actually get away from the banking system if you have, a lot of debt, or if you have a lot of things that require you to, make your money go in and out, et cetera, et cetera. So I would say this is the average person. They have a bank. Oh, yeah, it's a good one. Normal bank. So when you have people like this that are in the average space where they're making poor privacy decisions, they're not reusing passwords, they're not setting up 2FA, they're not doing email aliasing. They just have a regular Gmail with their name, bigballs.com, at gmail.com. So think about this. Think about your friend. Think about pretty much anyone under the sun that's like this, that you know. And I want you to apply this to yourself even, because this is for people that have maybe not have thought of this. And remember, I'm not a tech person. I'm just an average person. I'm an average person on the internet. I want people to understand that you do not have to be a technical person to increase your privacy. You do not have to be a technical person to increase your security. You do not have to be a technical person to have better Opsec. It is not rocket science. It is not as simple as everyone makes it. That's just don't get caught, or don't do this, or live in the woods, because it's unrealistic. That's retarded and gay. What is realistic is making sure you do very simple tasks in order to increase your operational security. You stay consistent and you stay alert. It's a very simple formula. I mean, some people say it's a 10 steps formula. Some people say it's a 30 step, 1 step, 2 step, 5 step. There's no magic word. There's no magic number in my opinion. There's no magic number for how many steps. What you feel comfortable with on the weight, how much you want to juggle, and what you feel comfortable with on your threat model is going to determine how many steps there are. I could do all my operational securities in 2 steps. That doesn't mean that someone can do it in 6 or 1 or 2 or 5. There's no magic number. There's no right or wrong. There is a wrong way to do it, but there's no right or wrong way to do it, if you know what I'm saying. There's no you have to do all at once versus you don't do it at all. I think that's an extreme and lazy way to deter people from actually increasing their privacy and security. If you only get out of this is I should just use email aliasing, fucking baller. Do it. You get less spam. It becomes harder and harder to track you down because you're not handing out your actual email address to everyone. And I consider that as a win-win. It's a 1% win. It's a 1 point win. However you want to look at it, a win is a win. You know what I mean? If you get sloppy toppy from the bartender or a hand job, then you still got the hand job. That's how I kind of look at it. So I'm going to grab another beer, and we're going to continue on with John Doe. All right. So I like to think like as a rational person. So let's say hypothetically, John eventually gets into what we call. It happens to everyone. We're gonna have a serious event. Data breach. Say it with me. Data breach. Data breach. Everyone gets into a data breach. Even if you have the most sexy, greatest Opsec, it doesn't mean that it's going to correlate to you. If you're part of a data breach, it happens. It's okay. Touch grass. Crank one out. Cry if you have to. The point is, if you're in a data breach, that is going to what I think is going to trigger your threat model. Data breach of Timo. Yeah, that'd be the worst. Oh my! It's happening. It's gonna happen. Watch. A data breach is enough to make somebody go insane. Some people don't care, but a lot of normal people would be like, that sucks. And the data breach can be your SSN. That sucks. SSN. It could be your passwords. It could be your email. It could be your address. It could be your personal identifiable information. That's not good. It could be you could start getting, and then the negative is credit fraud, identity theft, IDT. I don't know, you pretty much doxed yourself. Doxed. That's not fun. Spam calls. I would say spam calls, spam email. All terrible. Oh, and another thing. No ad blocker. And this is the biggest L. So I'm going to do a triple minus. Pays for YouTube Premium. What an awful thing to do. What an awful thing to pay for. YouTube Premium. Remember, guys, if you see an ad on my video, block it. I don't give a shit. I don't care about the 8 cents that YouTube's about to pay for me. For you to watch that 30-second ad. Block it. Fuck the ads. But if you watch it, I like you more than the people that block it. Just saying. But block it. So, data breaches have negative consequences. Your social security can get leaked. Gay. Your passwords can get leaked. Gay. Your email gets leaked. Gay and lame and time consuming. Your address gets leaked. Kind of gay. Your personal information gets leaked. I mean, this can go down to like what class you took in like 7th grade. Credit card fraud. The negatives what I would say the negative res will come out is credit card fraud, identity theft, doxed, spam calls, emails, your girlfriend leaving. I'm just kidding. She was going to leave you anyways. So all these things can accumulate to something we hate. Target, not the grinder password. For real. Wait, are you Slow Bear Digger? All this can lead to the worst part. Target ads. Look, you don't... Not the grinder pass. That's great. So, John Doe is sitting there one day. He's, scrolling through TikTok. He's gooning. He's, he's look maxing or whatever the fuck people do. He's clean maxing. He's just chilling in his house. And then he gets bam. Data breach. His social security got leaked. His passwords are all over the place. He's having a stroke. He's like, yo, my balls just got slapped all over the place. And I'm getting spam emails. I'm getting spam calls. I fucking hate it. He's complaining to the homies, and they don't care. The homies don't give a fuck. You want to know the homies don't care? Is because they watch my videos. They're locked in already. They're like, I listen to this retard on the internet. I'm already locked in, man. You're falling behind. I installed Graphene OS over the weekend while you were look maxing. You know, that's the type of conversations that you should be having at the function. So, what do you do? This is where I would say someone gets something called they have a life event. So life event equal, in my opinion, will always equal a reason to care about privacy. And so there might be some privacy enjoyers and security lovers in the chat that, or people that come across this video and they're like, well, no shit, my dude. We already know this. That's the point. The point is you need to have people that see this and show it to people that don't get it. You know what I mean? That's the point. Or maybe there's something that you didn't even think of. You know, that's the idea. I didn't get into privacy and security until way after I was using Linux for relatively much longer time. And I'm like, I don't like the cloud. I don't like hosting on somewhere I need to self-host. I need to buy server. That was my point. You know? And now I have a data center in my house. So, what are some steps that John Doe can do? John Doe goes on the internet. They're like, they're always like this. How to be anonymous on the internet. And this is what happens. They always type this in. Let's say AI is not here. They go to like security or how to remain anonymous on the internet. Let's see this. I'm going to show you bad advice. Oh, wow. These fucking losers block Tor, but they want to tell me how to be anonymous on the internet. That's an immediate red flag, by the way. Security.org. PCMag.com will love me. Because everyone has probably looked up this at this point in their life. This guy's not real. Oh, my God. Eric Griffith. That's a fake person. It's always the same name, too. Like, not name, but like, Eric has been writing about tech for 30 years. This person has been doing this for 20 years. And it's like, dude, no, you haven't. You're made up. Or this is AI-generated content. Or it's fake. I always hate these articles. I've never read these articles and think like this is a good like this shit. Do you think Eric Griffith, senior editor, features made this? No. Some might say the internet was built on anonymity, paving the way for place for free speech. reigns supreme. But after years of learning about who's snooping on everything online, privacy on the web is hardly given. Cover your tracks. There may be steps you can take to smartphone and PC that may not completely get you a little closer to being visible. Eric Griffin is peeking on. He is, guys. This is an example of what people will find. I'm going to show you a bad example, and this is one of them. If you're watching this, if you're consuming, don't listen to this fucking cuck. This is bad advice already. Burner phones don't exist. Burner phones mentioned? Yeah, it's always burner phones. They don't exist. The idea of a burner phone existing is stupid. It's dumb even in the name. Buying any phone in cash is automatically not tied to you. But it's not a burner phone. There's very sophisticated triangulation that can happen that's probably not a threat that doesn't matter. But there's a lot of tracking involved in applications that you download, in your geolocation with your IP address, your proximity, sensors, and it depends on the vendor. The vendors don't incorporate any sandboxing or any security updates. I mean, like the list goes on. I mean, there's a way to bypass VPNs that allow to know your location regardless if you have a VPN or not. I mean, the internet, there's a lot of things on the internet that can expose your identity. You have to think about, what am I willing to expose? What am I not willing to expose? Just saying. This is why you got to think, you got to evolve, you got to adjust. Think, evolve, adjust. Think, like, burn it into your brain. Think, evolve, adjust. I know evolve and adjust are almost similar. Never worry about giving out your phone number again. Burner the app. Yeah, use this fucking awful dog shit service that's free, serving ads to you, that's collecting information from the ads. If you want to become anonymous, forget about using smartphone. The big name mobile OS makers are control freaks. Apple and ad servers, Google. To be anonymous when you make calls or send texts, your choice is prepaid phone, aka burner. God, someone's gonna fucking read this and believe it. That's the hurtful part. What a fucking dog shit interview, or like dog shit article already. Even with a burner, call records exist. No shit. So your location can still be triangulated via GPS and towers locations. Yeah, so burner phones don't fucking exist. That's the point. It makes me fucking triggered. I'm getting triggered from this fucking article. As you've seen in movies, though, you can always throw the phone in a passing truck and lead whoever might be tracking you. It's not like people are tracking you. No one can just pick up and they're like, guys, I located them. I can get access to their call logs. Access granted. You know what I mean? God, what a fucking movie. This guy's seen way too many movies. The upside of a burner phone is that your real name is... You can do that with prepaid. Prepaid already exists. Like, if you do this with prepaid, you automatically... Don't... article sponsored by the glowy next door. Yeah, for real. The thing is, like... If you get a prepaid service and you buy your phone in cash, it is relatively more private because there is no name associated with you. It's that simple. This guy's like acting like you need to go out and get a burner phone. It's like any phone that you own in cash is a burner phone. And relatively there's slightly a caveat with that. If you finance a device, it doesn't necessarily mean they know you. They just know that you have this device. Big fucking whoop-de-doo. I mean, it's not good. But if you have relatively, I mean, that's its own complication. Like, that's its own complication. Obviously, cash is better because there's less paperwork that can follow you to own a device. The real problem is the IMEI and the ISMIE, I believe. I get that dyslexia mixed up. Is there's no rotation with it. And, I mean, that's its own rabbit hole to go around. This is why I would say Cape Wireless is fucking useless because IMSI rotation isn't, not everyone's doing it, so it looks unique, and IMEI rotation isn't a thing, so it looks unique, so it doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, this has been widely discussed for a long time. They're like, we need to find a way to rotate these identifiers, and it's like, okay, if everyone doesn't do it, then it looks unique because it's a very unique property that is already incorporated into the cell infrastructure itself. This isn't like even a schizophrenic take. This is like you're just retarded, and you're going to spend $100 a month having someone try to sell you on a dream. You know, buy your phone in cash if you can financially afford it. Buy a prepaid SIM card. I do have a prepaid. I do have a video coming out soon with like different services, how they work, the ones that accept Monero, etc., etc. I mean, it's gonna come soon. Trademark, meaning 3 weeks from now. When you already own an expensive smartphone, buying more hardware is painful. Thankfully, there are apps aplenty to get you temporary anonymous numbers that are usable with Android or iOS. One of those apps is named Apply and Burner. Like that firewall. Is your desktop or laptop connected directly to a broadband modem with no router in between? It may not happen one of these days, but if it does, it's a very bad idea. Hackers constantly bombard IP addresses to see if they can access unsecure systems. You should always have a router on your home network, and it can mitigate attempts to hacks with its built-in firewall. A router uses network address translation (NAT) to assign IP addresses to every device on your home network. So that those what a fucking retard! No shit. But I would even say that firewalls don't even stop anything. Firewalls don't even do anything beyond the fact of blocking ports, but they're firewalls, to quote Kerry Parker from Firewalls Don't Stop Dragons, hence the name. They can only do so much. You can also use firewalls software installed on a PC. Windows comes with a pretty decent solution called Windows Firewall. Are there any Windows users in the chat? I just want to know if they use Windows Firewall. I basically use it. It's better than firewalls do have a purpose, but they're not this way to make you private. It's just fucking retarded. But PC Mag's lead analyst for security, Neil J. Rubikin, explains you don't really need another firewall if you use one integrated with. I mean, I agree with that. You don't need to pay for a firewall. For real anonymity based on your OS, stop using Windows or Mac OS. These desktops and move to Linux distros specializing in keeping your identity secret. Your best is arguably Tails, the amnesic operating system. I would say that Tails is a good option, but it's not an OS. It's not for your everyday. You can use Tails as an everyday use, 100%. It's definitely doable. So if John was we're thinking of John. We're thinking of someone who's starting at the gates. I would say level 1 John is going to be the option that we have to look at. But level 1 John is going to look at stuff like this, and they're going to think that this is a good idea when it's not. Assess your stealth. What does your computer or tablet or smartphone, no matter, give away about you when you visit websites? At the very least, the websites know your IP address, and that's necessarily, otherwise you get no result. In most cases, servers also know your proximity physical location by checking where your ISP supplies those IP addresses, see in action, IP location, and probably your time zone, which language you speak. All good info fodder for advertisers. Your browser can also offer up operating system, browser type, and which version of software you're running, browser plugins, and it reports on the fonts you have installed. All this giving your system a unique fingerprint. This is true. This is why fingerprinting is not achievable until more people use a operating system where everyone looks the same. It's simple. And as anyone who's watched Law and Order knows, a fingerprint is some. What the fuck does Law and Order have to do with this? If you don't believe it, visit my browser info or browserleaks.com to see how well your browser and VPN are protecting you. For the matter, just Google yourself and see what comes up. This is good advice. You should Google yourself. Google your information. We're going to go over that. Google your information. Google things about you or Brave or DuckDuckGo or whatever. You should always constantly, in certain intervals, be looking at what information is out there and how can I either eliminate it or make it look fake. Very good. What up, brother? What up, brother? That's the only few good things that come out of this. What's more, even if you got a VPN, a virtual private network running, as you should, see below, it could be leaking. That's not true. I always use Chinese time zone in keyboard. Look, if you can speak Chinese, based. Well, that would make you look unique. Because if you're using Chinese time zone and a keyboard, but your time zone is, but your web, I think WebRTC is one of the biggest leakers of your real geolocation. I think it can go down to like a very like small amount of feet of where you're at, and other identifiers are going to know that like you aren't in China. It's very easy to figure it out. Putting your time zone in your keyboard in Chinese is just going to make you look strange to the internet and to advertisers. Ate some jalapeno slice. That's fucking wild. Billy has definitely killed someone, guys. No one just eats pure jalapeno slices by themselves unless they're a fucking psycho. This is some shit you do right after you murder someone, is you just go eat some jalapeno slices. Yeah, jalapeno is not spicy. What are you, white? What are you, Caucasian? This is fucking crazy. But if your best option is actually to blend in as much as possible. If I had a pro tip thing that popped up on my screen that was like pro tip balls. I mean, pro tip honestly would be like make your computer as generic as possible. Make your activity as generic as possible. Make your browser as generic as possible. You don't get any benefit when you do things that skew your system that makes it look unique in the matrix. I ate raw jalapenos before. It was spicier than whatever those bell peppers were. This is what white people do on the weekend. This is what Caucasians do. So, one big step is you can take to make sure your browser isn't storing too much personal information. Settings menu, turn off the ability of the browser to store passwords. That's actually not a way to. That doesn't matter. Storing your password, making a password manager, and storing the browser is secure. I mean, it's relatively not the best security. You should always have a separate password manager. But how browser cryptography works is actually pretty interesting. It does a pretty good standardization of how it stores the passwords and how it keeps it safe, especially if you're using like Chromium or something like Brave. It's better for it to make a password, store in the browser, than obviously not grandma using the 15th password that's the same as the other 15 passwords before. browsers store images, surfing history, what you've downloaded, cookies, files. You should periodically clear your browser cache. You should do that from a security standpoint. You should honestly use something that automatically clears your browser, clears your cookies, everything on exit. Is it inconvenient? Sure. Is it better? Yeah. I use Mobile browser. Mobile is good. Good advice on the time zone and keyboards, actually. Yeah, the thing is, like, I get like where people want to try to do things that trick the internet. The internet's really smart. When something looks very unique to the internet, and there's other identifiers, whether it be Bluetooth, whether it be your WebRTC, your mobile browser, whatever. It's not rocket science. And I don't want people to feel shamed or argue or get mad or be like, this guy's retarded. You have to understand that herd availability, mass adoption, whatever you want to call it, is how you look anonymous to the internet. The internet, especially advertisers, live bidding, tracking, JavaScript. Yeah, Moved's browser is great. The internet's really smart. Tell that to the broader gate protocol is smart. It literally works. Fuck you. The thing is, a lot of the internet is like, hey, this looks kind of interesting. Like advertisers are like, hey, SKF 304. They're using a different keyboard. It says it's Korean. Their time zone's Korean. But their IP address is European. And you know what I mean? And their resolution isn't standard to Korea or Europe. You know what I mean? Like I could go like on and on and on and on, because it's like there's slight things that you're gonna do that's different from Korean. Like they're not typing as fast as Koreans. They're not looking at videos in Korean. They're looking at them in English because they have captions on. Your captions are in American. Like the way you type is American. They're probably American. That's how you have to think. You have to think, I'm doing something that isn't culturally the same. Your typing patterns are unique. The way your typing speed is unique. That's the point. That's not like a dig at anyone who has thought. I've thought about this for a really long time and deep, and I spend a lot of time deep on the internet where people it's life or death if they make an operational mistake. It's not some fucking fat American sitting in their basement wanting to get advertisers off their back. It's people that if I make a mistake, I'm dying because I'm exposing secrets about my government or whatever. That's the point. When you make these decisions, you have to think like an advertiser who wants to make money. And remember, money is the ultimate, goal of these companies that are going out of their way in order to ensure they're being accurate. They're like, oh, we collected all this information of like these users. We want to make sure it's accurate. because we want to sell them ads at the end of the day. Advertise the government for real. So when you use multi-app browsers is a good example of this. It makes sure that everyone looks the same. Whonix even changes everyone has the same time code, everyone has the same keystrokes, everyone looks the same. And it's so good at what it does that it's the purpose of it is to look like you're all coming from the same island, which is a good thing. We want uniformity. We don't want people to look like snowflakes. We don't want people to look like that. So if you're John, covering your tracks is very difficult. But we're going to continue with John. We're going to make John more based and cool. They're not going to have to sell all their information, sell all their assets, and move into the middle of nowhere. It's just not realistic. All right, there we go. So, major browsers have private surfing mode. Worthless, by the way. Chrome's has it called incognito. Worthless. Firefox private browsing, and Microsoft as it's in private browsing. Worthless. Any browser for privacy should have JavaScript is deactivated. True, just use Tor, by the way. Honestly, this solves all your problems. Everything when you exit, gets exit by default. If you go to the extreme setting, it doesn't display JavaScript. JavaScript is the enemy. If you take anything from this, JavaScript is the enemy. It's awful. It does a lot of information it can track. I mean, my canvas, the way my mouse moves can be tracked. It's unique. Do yourself a favor. If you do not run Graphene OS, if you do not run iPhone, go in your browser, normal Chrome browser, search lawn equipment, big titties, whatever, lawn equipment. Just look up lawn equipment. Do it. And if you have Facebook or Instagram on your profile, on the same phone, on the same profile, log into Instagram, log into Facebook, it will start serving you lawn equipment. It's not that your phone is listening to you through your microphone. It is because you have a unique identifier. You have an advertiser ID. You can remove it as much as you want. Doesn't matter. Lawn titties. For real. You should go do this. Test it yourself. Look up lawn equipment on a different browser, on a different IP address, whatever. It's not the point. The point is these advertisers are so good. They know there's a correlation between your Instagram account, your Play Store, your identity, your screen resolution, your MAC address, your IP address, whatever. Do it. And come back to me and be like, you know what? Not an FBI honeypot. You're fucking right. That's the point. That's how good it is. You can't, your little fucking browser plugin, your VPN doesn't fucking thwart it. You have so much information that you are leaking. Is a VPN better? Yes. Is ad blocking better for your sanity? Yes. Should you watch my ads? Yeah. Just kidding. Is your ads better? Blocking better? Yes. Is you feeding the machine fake information better? For sure. Yes, it's better. You got to take it with a grain of salt. You're not going to be 100%. You're going to make mistakes. You're still going to get ads that are correlated to you. You're still going to see patterns of information like John Doe where you're going to, it's like, dude, do I just give up? No. You learn. That's the point. You're threat modeling. You're not selling drugs on the internet. You're not committing a crime. If you are, probably please get off. You're trying to evade this type of surveillance, capital surveillance. And how you do that, I don't know what that word is, to be honest. I'm too retarded to read right now. The point is, ad nauseum. Yeah, ad nauseum. The point is, you are going to go out of your way to limit the amount of data that gets leaked out there, limit the amount of information that is about you, and that is the right step. Anyone who says that this isn't the right step, anyone who says you're wasting your time is a cuck or a federal agent, and fuck them. That's the point. You against the machine is an uphill battle. Oh, the extension, yeah. The extension. I'm retarded. Privacy is an uphill battle. You are on the bottom. You have no armor. Your gun's out of ammo. Your balls are sweaty. You haven't eaten in 3 days, and you have to fight upwards. That is the point of privacy. It is not a downward battle. It is not easy. It is not fun. It's kind of gay sometimes, but that's the point. You need to broaden find the things that you care about and work on them. It's a sectional thing. You're like, oh, I'm going to start with VoIP, or I'm going to start with a email aliasing service. You did a good job. Based. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Then you start with a password manager. Based. You are not wasting your time. I mean, and so forth and so forth and so forth and so forth. That's the point. You need to work in sections. You need to compartmentalize. It's just like cubes. Rome wasn't built in a day. Whatever fucking lame, like gay, fucking retard, fucking idea or motivational that you need, do it. That's the point. But I digress. So any browser for privacy should have JavaScript disabled. That's true, but it's not going to happen. JavaScript can help web server identify all sorts of things beyond your browser, such as your monitor size, the info that goes in towards fingerprinting in your system. You can turn JavaScript off, but then a lot of websites won't work. Number of browsers are billed as privacy focused, of course, but they use the same rendering engines and names such as Big Google, Chromium. This is such this is the stupid part. We're getting into Dumbville. The difference is that privacy browsers don't share any information with Google. Examples are Brave, DuckDuckGo, and Tor. And browser, again, doesn't matter. Advertisers, no. Brave is good. Brave blocks ads. Brave, good. Block ad. No Brave, bad. No block. You know what I mean? Like autism speaks to people. There are a couple of browsers with built-in VPNs or proxies where they hide where you visit, such as Epic, Opera, and Avast secure browser. Read all about them above in our roundup. Jesus fucking balls. And this is the problem with shit sites like PCMag.fucking-retard, how to stay fucking gay-ass-anonymous-online.com. They suck because they sit there and have fucking advertisers on their site. If I wasn't on Tor, I know I'd be seeing, look at advertisement. What do you think it's collecting, you fucking retard? And look, DistroTube, bald man. Hey, bald guy from DistroTube. Remember, bald people are evil. If you have anyone on the internet tell you to use Where is it? Like, he was just, oh, here. The best private browsers. Let's see. It's just not a good idea. Anyone who recommends these browsers should be a red flag. Ew, LibreWolf? Unbased. What about Michael? I've been testing PC. Testing is like such a... Did you just say bald? You'll get arrested in the United Kingdom. I just hate bald people. I don't know why. Best VPNs. Let's see. LibreWolf mentioned, unfortunately. DuckDuckGo, unbased. Based Brave. Look at that. Glad I'm hairless. Testing mobile software for 20 years. How? Isn't mobile software... Mobile software's been around for 20 years. PC and mobile software for more than 20 years. Focusing on photo and video edit operating systems and web browsers. Prior to my current role, I covered software apps for Extreme Tech and headed to PC Mag Enterprise Software Team. Why is there a Tide Pod browser? Oh my god, that's true. What a good I was thinking, I was like, damn, that kind of looks like a pile of candy. Like a little sweet treat. Little thing you put in your mouth. Let's see. Brave. Based. WebRTC. Epic privacy browser for best for WebRTC protection. You can just use fucking Brave for this. Fucking moron. WaterFox? Who uses WaterFox? Who uses Firefox? At least I love how they have $0. Like, oh, zero telemetry. We've all learned though that Firefox unbased, ungay. We all use Epic browser in our dishwashers. Which browser does your dishwasher have? Be for real. Be honest. You know it's a bot account on Twitter when they're like, be honest. It's like, what? Like, how do people actually use the, like, Twitter and X or whatever, or Facebook? They're like, be honest. Is it okay that my wife cheated on me? Like, are you fucking retarded? What is Zcash at? Zcash shows you random victory laps some are getting past. Yeah, Zcash users are... I'm convinced they're furries. But in the gayest way. We 100%. WaterFox is pretty cool. I used it back when I used Windows. Epic privacy browser in the name. I'd use it to create a honeypot route for sure. WaterFox, I don't think gets updates. Brave! See it. DuckDuckGo! It's not really a browser, it's more of a search engine. Whatever. I'm going to be... When you tap Epic's umbrella button to enable the built-in version of uBlock Origins, the EFFs cover your tracks tool reporting strong protection against web tracking through a unique browser for... Here's the thing. When you're using these extensions, that's unique. Think about it. Just put your IQ into your brain for a second. Every extension you use is unique. and it makes you look unique. Epic browser, Tide Pod browser. Guys, I think I need to make a browser called Honey Browser. Who would use Honey Browser? I just want to know. Say yes in the comments if you would. I'll make it. Via AI. The browser interface looks almost identical of Chrome's. Aside from that, includes... I mean, people shit on Chrome, but Chrome is literally better in terms of like sandboxing than Firefox. Best non-Chromium browser. Unbased. Uncool. Gay, actually. Android. Honestly. Mulvad would be the only thing I use, to be completely honest. Guys, be honest. A proxy server is a server that functions as relative... Okay, here we go. Wow. Bad advice for John Doe. So we're going to look at good advice. Good advice, good. Not bad. Where's the thumbs down button? Can someone can I have the chat hit with the thumbs down? Actually, can I have the chat hit with thumbs up for good advice from whatever site that was, or thumbs down for bad advice? That's the real question. But if you do thumbs down, you're much cooler. So level 1 John Doe, I would say goes to PCMag.com. I would say it always starts with the browser, and this is where it ends. To be completely honest, thumbs up or thumbs down for PC Mag guys on privacy. How did it disappear? I didn't see them talk about me disappearing from my wife. Am I right, brothers? I need to be able to disappear from my wife and have a 6-pack of Bud Light appear in my lap. Am I right, brothers? Speaking of a 6-pack, I gotta get one more beer. Well, we'll look at level 1 John. What John does do. What John could do. what John should do. I see people talking about Zcash. Or don't open your browser, it's gay. Oh. Let it be known, Zcash is for fags. And not the cool kind. I love gay people. Just not Zcash users. Wow. USDC. Wow, 596. Oh my god. I wouldn't buy Fed Cash if it made me a millionaire. Later, Bill. Hope you're doing good. Sleep well, brother. All right. I've consumed bread. Remember, 3 ingredients should not make someone lose weight at its consistent speed. So what should John do? What should John do? John should start simple. Browser. I would say Brave is the best. Their threat assess. Their threat model. And I would even go as far as beyond assess the threat model. I would say go as far as doing a digital cleanup. And this can be fake information, that's legal, of course. Beyond fake information that's legal, I would say delete information that's, I would say, irrelevant. I would say even in parentheses, fake the information beyond delete it. If you fake the information, delete the information, it becomes harder. You want to layer your privacy. You want it to become annoying. I want people to take shell corpse. This is a bonus. I would call it bonus. People don't have to think about it. They don't have to do it. They don't have to be like, that's the goal. Obviously, with unlimited money, power, and time, anyone can find you. But we're going to understand what a shell corp is. So, we must look at what a shell corporation is. So, you want to treat yourself like a shell corporation. This is how a corporate pretty much accumulate to explain it to people. You want to layer your privacy. Your privacy should be layered as much as possible. A shell corporation is a company or corporation with no significant assets, operations, often formed to obtain financing before beginning business. Shell companies were primarily vehicles for lawfully hiding the identity of the beneficiary owners, and this is still defining features due to the loopholes in a global corporate transparency incentives. You essentially layer yourself in corporations in order to protect your identity, so people don't know like Disney is buying your assets, so they don't get price gouged. That's their reasoning. It doesn't mean it's good reasoning. It doesn't mean it's right reasoning. It's the point. Treat your life like a shell corporation. Just make up shit. Lie where it's legally possible, and make sure you protect the privacy of your main identifiable identity. And you can do that in many layers. One of them is a voice over IP. The voice over IP could be my pseudo, cloak, or a burner number. And you use these assets in order to obtain high privacy at availability. The availability means that you have access to it. It's not super expensive, and it's not obtainable like it's like for the elite. And high availability means the company is still around, where you know that they're not being blacklisted, they're not taking your money and running or rugging you, etc., etc. There are many VoIP providers out there, and I would say that is where you should start. I know people will say fake information, delete information, irrelevant information, for sure. But I think the most important would be first start with your phone number. And you could even put in attack is the most important first start. The one for first start, the most important, your phone number. They got burner numbers. And I use heavy quotes around this. It's not real. A burner number is really just a number that isn't tied to you. And you could be as simple. You could use VoIP providers. That's kind of like a big umbrella. But you can use providers that accept Monero. I was able to create a phone line on a fake ID back when KYC was much weaker and used to this day. Yeah, you don't really have to do that. You can just get prepaid service. But super based and cool. So, I would say Shell Corps is based. The most important is to start with is your phone number. Use a burner, use a VoIP, use a provider that accepts Monero. I could even say that you could do the extreme. No phone number. If I could spell. So definitely increase your Opsec by starting with, like, I would say base necessities. Your phone number, your email aliasing, and making sure you take your information that you don't want to kind of be there, essentially not be there. There's many data broker removal tools. Most of them, if not all of them, are not good. And there's only a few out there that are okay beyond manual removing. So I would say come back tomorrow when we are going to discuss data removal tools and more operational security risks that John Doe is making and how to correct them, because I think that it's important to understand that it's not a one-step process, it's a multi-step process. But if it is a one-step process, super based and cool. And you should comment below what your favorite operational security measure is. What tool do you use that you can't live without? If you don't, then 500 years of bad luck from YouTube. I have to go to Oklahoma to fight at least 6 tornadoes because they apparently live in a tornado alley. And that's not good for the citizens. I'll see you guys in the next video.